Hello and welcome everybody to a standard video? What's going on? Well, right now there seems to be a bit of a lull with regards to limited magic, so I'm just trying to mix things up a little bit by infusing a little bit of standard because we still have a month before the new set comes out. And of course, we just had the Spotlight Series event. The first Spotlight Series event happened this past weekend. So this was the deck piloted by Nick Odenheimer. Sorry if I butchered your name, but congratulations to Nick Odenheimer for winning the very first Spotlight Series event with Leyline Gruul. Now, this is a deck that's kind of fallen out of favor for the other Gruul variant that plays the Innkeeper's Talent, but this is the far more explosive variant. The variant that actually, as you can see, it's red here, is banned in Best of When. This deck is looking to basically utilize Leyline of Resonance and play a bunch of pump spells and kill your opponents basically out of nowhere with a variety of prowess creatures and cards like the Cacophony Scamp, where if you can get Leyline of Resonance in play, you play a cheap creature, you pump it a couple of times with Monstrous Rage or Turn Inside Out, then you deal 10 damage to them, you sack the Cacophony Scamp, and boom, they're just dead. Additionally, there are 2 copies of Callous Sellsword here as additional ways to sacrifice your creatures once they become gimonstrous through the multiple pump spells that you have with the Leyline of Resonance. One note with this deck, I will say, one thing that I learned is in the World Championship, Jean-Emmanuel Deprat and his French teammates chose to play the Leyline variant, saying, well, this is one of the most broken cards in Standard. And the thing is, this deck is capable of winning games despite not having Leyline of Resonance in your opening hand. So one of the most important things and approaches to playing this type of deck is don't worry about the Leyline of Resonance. It's in your deck to give you quote-unquote free wins, but if not, you can still play the typical Gruul Aggro strategy of going 1-drop, 2-drop, into pump spells and perhaps other ways to protect these creatures. So this is the deck that we have in front of us here. We have a nice Gruul package here, so you can play the Snakeskin Veils and Overprotect. I absolutely love Overprotect in this deck as just a really great way. It basically is a 2-mana Snakeskin Veil, but just kills your opponent, right? Because with Leyline of Resonance in play, boom, that's 6 extra damage. So this is the creature suite here. We have the 4 Cacophony Scamps, Heartfire Hero, don't leave home without these 1-drops here, along with 4 Emberheart Challengers and Slickshot Show-Off. So these are kind of the cards that you really want to target with the pump spells. This is kind of the core of the creatures in your deck. Then you have 4 copies of Questing Druid. And the thing about this card is this allows your decks to play a slightly grindier game. By having access to 4 copies of Questing Druid, you can play a longer game by going end of turn Questing Druid, get some extra value, find some creatures, find some pump spells, and try to win that game. This card is especially good in the mirror, where basically this can be a potential 3-for-1 in some instances. So really, really good card at trying to win kind of the fair games that you sometimes run into, especially when you play against the decks with lots of removal. Then you have your pump spell suite here. You have Monstrous Rage, probably the best pump spell in the entire format. 1 mana, +3/+1 and Trample, which is very, very nice. Notably with Leyline of Resonance, the monster roll token, when you duplicate that, if you only have 1 creature in play, you can only have 1 roll token on the creature. There's Turn Inside Out as another way to just get a bunch of power onto one of your creatures. Snakeskin Veil as the protective spell, along with 2 copies of Overprotect as additional protection elements. Then you have, like I said before, 2 copies of Callous Sellsword. No way to actually cast this card, but it's just a way to be able to fling your creatures. You get your creature big enough with one of these with some of these pump spells, then boom, out of nowhere, you can just kill your opponent with the Callous Sellsword. So that's kind of the basic main deck. It hasn't really changed at all, and I'm really excited to give this deck a shot because I'm usually somebody that plays more mid-range strategies, but this deck seems pretty sweet. Taking a look at the sideboard here, we have, of course, I have to play best of 3 here because you can't play Leyline of Resonance in best of 1. In best of 3, we have 4 copies of Paw Patch Recruit. This is really, really great against a deck that's looking to pack a ton of removal. So in matchups where, let's say, Leyline of Resonance is not as good, let's say Golgari mid-range and Dimir mid-range in particular, then you just try to play the fair game, maybe board out copies of Turn Inside Out and Leyline of Resonance, possibly even the Callous Sellsword, and bring in the 4 copies of Paw Patch Recruit here. There's also 2 copies of Innkeeper's Talent in the deck. For those fair matchups, the matchups where you're looking to grind out a little bit more. 2 copies of Screaming Nemesis, excellent card in the mirror. Just red doesn't really have a good answer for this. So when the red decks kill this creature, they're going to lose a creature as well. And then 3 copies of Burst Lightning just to kill little things in the mirror, and also it allows you to go to the face. And then 2 copies of Lithomantic Barrage, which is a way to kill white and blue creatures. 5 damage is, of course, very, very big. And then 2 copies of Twisted Fealty for potential demons that you might run against. Let's say you play against a Shieldred or an Archfiend of the Dross. Twisted Fealty is the best answer for that card. So that's the deck. Let's hop in and beat people down with our Gruul Beatdown deck. There's a couple of other decks that I do want to showcase if people are interested in constructed, namely the blue-black mid-range deck it's called Dimir Bounce, where you play a bunch of 1-mana cards and you can pick things up with Fear of Isolation and This Town Ain't Big Enough. There's also a green-white tokens deck that actually managed to win the SCG 10K that occurred that weekend that I'm also interested in if people want to watch. All right, on the play, love to see it here. And we have Leyline of Resonance. Love to see that as well. No 1-drop though, but I'm still going to keep this hand here. Let's put that into play. I haven't had Leyline in play for a while, so I'm not even really sure how it works. All right, we are playing against the Dimir mid-range deck, meaning that we do need to play things a little more patiently here. Definitely don't want to run out the Emberheart Challenger with at least 1 protection spell. So that's going to be the play here. Oh, there is the Cacophony Scamp, though, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, I think I'm going to play that out here and see what they choose to use as removal effects. Cut down will not work, which is good. Fairy Mastermind, sure. Yeah, this is going to be a very, very tricky matchup to play against. And I'm not entirely sure that I'm going to play it properly. Let's just put it that way. Okay. Well, they have a lot of mana available. So I think the play here is not to just go for it and to just play an Emberheart Challenger and keep up my protection spell. Alternatively, I can just attack with the Cacophony Scamp, but I'm not sure that that's enough pressure. So let's play the Challenger. And then let's just attack. There's just no reason to do anything else. And then we'll just pass. I will not sack the Cacophony Scamp. Fairy Mastermind is totally fine. If they want to play the Enduring Curiosity game, that is not going to go well for them. Like, they're just going to straight up lose. This could be a Kaito, I guess? No, Enduring Curiosity. Yeah, so my opponent's just dead, I'm pretty sure. The combination of Overprotect, Monstrous Rage into Snakeskin Veil. All right, let's go ahead and go. Is Overprotect enough? No, let's just go Monstrous Rage. Oh my gosh! Well, that's what we call a mega lethal. Yeah, this is outrageous. I mean, they're like, I don't even have to play anything else. They're just dead. This comes back. That comes back. I would like to sacrifice it, yes. And, oh, we get to manifest as well? But let's go 10 to the face. Sure. And sure. Boom. All right, got the first one. That's the easy one. That's the one you're supposed to win. The question is, what do you do after sideboard? And if I can recall what John Emmanuel Deprat told me to do, and again, I could be wrong here, it was a while ago, it's you actually board out the Leyline package in this particular matchup, just because they have 4 cut downs, 4 go for the throats, and a variety of other removal effects. And you're really just looking to, you know, try to play a different type of aggressive game where you play Paw Patch Recruits, Innkeeper's Talents, and probably some Burst Lightnings to maybe kill some of their other creatures. There's also Lithomantic Barrage, which is a nice cheap way to basically kill all their cards. It also kills Kaito, which is pretty nice. I don't think Twisted Fealty is particularly good in the matchup. Something like this, especially on the draw, I think I want to just bring in all of those cards, and then I have to just figure out what, you know, which of these basically, I think I just want to keep all of the creatures and then just figure out which of these combat tricks I want to cut as my last cut. Is Screaming Nemesis something that I'm interested in? Just as a nice haste creature as well, and just like really just cut down on, you know, Snakeskin Veil, Monstrous Rage, Overprotect. Overprotect is a little bit expensive, and I want to keep my curve kind of lower, so I can see cutting that. Then maybe we cut like 1 Snakeskin Veil. They're going to do a pretty good job of playing around this card, and I think I like the Monstrous Rage a little more just because it hits a little bit harder. All right. Okay. For those of you who are more familiar with this type of deck, feel free to blast off in the comments on how I should actually sideboard in this matchup. All right, on the play here, totally fine hand. Now we don't really have to get as conservative with kind of what we choose to do with our creatures here. Although they did lead with Darkslake Shores, so I guess there's not a huge need to just play out this Heartfire hero, because they can have cut down here. That's basically the only thing they can be representing right now. So I think I just wait. Okay, now we can play Heartfire Hero. Oh, we'll note though, like Snakeskin Veil is much worse against Nowhere to Run, and so a lot of players have been playing that card. It's very possible that they can Kaito me here. Nope. Cut down. I mean, I guess I fire it off. Just, I'm a little bit starved on mana, so I just feel like I need to... If they're going to 2-for-1 themselves here, I think that's okay. Oh, and they have an exile effect too, sure. All right. Couple of options here. Do I kill the Fairy Mastermind? And then just run out the Emberheart Challenger? Seems fine. Okay. Get a little prowess going. Go for the throat on Emberheart Challenger, sure. And, Slickshot Show-Off is quite interesting here. But I think I'm just going to run out the Scamp. And then go end of turn Questing Druid. They could just have a bunch of removal, I'm not sure. Monstrous Rage and Copperline Gorge. Kind of interested in firing off this Monstrous Rage. I'm also kind of interested in firing off this Paw Patch Recruit. I mean, I'm certainly playing Copperline Gorge. Might just be good to run out Questing Druid here. Just because it gets more counters later. Actually, Slickshot Show Off also sounds pretty good. Yeah, let's go Questing Druid. This is on obviously my inexperience with the deck kicking in. See what they do. Enduring Curiosity, sure. No blocks, okay. Interesting. Now, do I just want to kill Enduring Curiosity? I think so. I actually didn't even know it proliferated. Well, there you go. Learning, right? Learning is half the battle, or something like that. Oh my gosh, yeah. I did not even know that that was a thing you can do. Fair enough. Let's go Slickshot Show Off. And Screaming Nemesis. So when this connects, they draw a card. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to attack with. Do I just attack with everything? I can keep the Slickshot Show Off back. Just to prevent them from drawing a card. And prevent taking 1,000,000 damage. Okay. Let's kill the Shieldred. I guess I should have attacked with Slickshot Show Off. I'm not sure if this is a matchup where I'm supposed to bring in the Twisted Fealty. But they're at 8 life. And we've cast all of our spells. How efficiently, to be determined. Wow, I'm a little bit surprised that they're attacking me with the Sanctuary. Okay, fair enough. It doesn't really block very well. I thought the Restless Reef would stay back to block the Questing Druid. I see. Okay. All right, let's cast this with Offspring. And then we have the Restless Ridgeline as well. I mean, it's somewhat close, right? They have a Restless Reef as well, if they wanted to do something with that. But noting that I do have this Ridgeline, which can also just get in for lots and lots of damage. All right, so certainly blocking here. And I guess this can maybe block the Restless Reef. And then, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage? Oof. It does untap the creature, which is nice. I can untap the Questing Druid as well. Three, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's trade here. All right, give me a spell. Ooh, that is a spell. Okay. Okay. Didn't quite get what I want out of this. Let's see. Because they have the Restless Reef that can still attack me. So let's see. Well, if I attack with the Restless Ridgeline, they have to block. Right? And what happens if I target my Paw Patch Recruit? That's 3, 6, 7 damage. So this gets blocked. All right. I mean, I just hope that they don't have something. Because this tramples. Yeah. Yeah, obviously if they have a removal spell, we're dead. Woo! Okay. I can't say that that was the cleanest combat, but we won. We won, and we got it done. And we beat a tricky matchup, right? Dimir is always a tricky matchup. Obviously, being on the play with the Leyline was great, and then that one was definitely far more trickier. But let's play a couple more matches just to see. Just run the gauntlet here. All right, on the play again. This is a one-lander with a bunch of pump spells. I see, this is the type of hand where I'm not even sure I'm supposed to keep. I'm going to keep it, but I'm not sure, okay? That's where I'm at with this. If I draw a land, it's fantastic. Oh, I drew a land. I think I just want to get in for as much damage as I can here. And the thing is, if I do it this way, the Cacophony Scamp also gets pretty scary. Particularly if I draw a land. But this kind of forces them to have something for the hero. And even if they do, they take 3 damage and go to 12. So if they kill this... I mean, they could be playing the Esper bounce deck or whatever. Oh, Sheltered by Ghost. That's not fun. That's not fun at all. That's super not fun. Does it have Ward 2? Well, that's ridiculous. 3, 6, 7, yeah. Yeah, I mean, turn 1 creature, turn 2 Sheltered by Ghosts, I will say is pretty good against me. What is this? Each opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. Ay, ay, ay. 3, 6, 7. That's just not enough. All right. All right, this is tough. Like, we're racing, but obviously it's extremely hard to race what they have here. Look, there are going to be matchups or there are going to be games where I just get totally destroyed. I am fully aware of this. All right. Let's manifest. Okay. The problem is they're at 16 life. Like, what do I do? You know what I mean? Like, if I monstrous raged a Heartfire hero, what is that? 5 damage? Is this lethal? So let's say I monstrous rage this. That's 4, 5 damage. 5. Sack this. 10 damage. Oh, yeah. Wait a second. Wait a second! Wait a second! What? Alright, I did not understand how Heartfire Hero plus Sellsword works. It's just like double the damage. Yeah, okay. See, this is just, you know, it's just like watch me just figure it out slowly, okay? Just slowly. That's the plan here. Alright, definitely want Lithomantic Barrage against... It kills the otters. It kills things with Shelter by Ghosts on it without me having to pay the ward, which I think is pretty important. They're gonna my hexproof stuff is also not as good against them, and they're gonna have a lot of cheap interaction. So I wonder if I just do this again and play this game against the Dimir deck. And if they draw Journey to Nowhere or whatever, if that's the case, or Nowhere to Run, Overprotect is a better answer to Nowhere to Run. There's also just Turn Inside Out. Maybe something like that. I like the one Snakeskin Veil can still be pretty good, I think. So why don't we try that? Not 100% on this. But that's going to be the common thread here. But hey, look, we're still finding ways to win. Okay, that's because the deck is strong. All right, got a bunch of lands here and some creatures. I assume I'm going to keep this. Not a lot of pump spells, but like Questing Druid seems like one of the better cards in this matchup too. Storm Chaser's Talent from the opponent. Cacophony Scamp versus the Heartfire Hero. I'm going to play the hero just because I think it has more upside if I draw Innkeeper's Talent. Oh, wow. I drew Innkeeper's Talent. But this is just a great card to have for future draw steps, right? Like, they obviously have a removal spell here, and that's fine. Oh, that... Okay, sure. Optimistic Scavenger. All right, all right, all right. It's kind of a racing situation, actually. Wow. That is mega interesting. Do I just play that right now? to play against removal? I can also pump this up, actually. No, that's probably good, too. Oh, no, but they don't have the counters on them to begin with. All right, you know what? I'm going to try this. I'm not entirely sure it's correct. But we'll see how this goes. A lot of different directions you can go here with what I choose to play. What do you have here? Nowhere to run? Sure. That doesn't do anything. Oh, I guess they want to kill my Paw Patch Recruit and they're going to pump the Scavenger. Okay. I don't think that was a successful nowhere to run. I'm just gonna say. I don't know that that was ideal. All right, they can get back what? This town ain't big. Are they just dead now? I'm just trying to figure out if they're dead. Because this is a lot of damage. Let's see. This at least gets in for 6 damage. They're going to chump here. This tramples. All right, why don't we play the Slick Shot Show Off? Questing Druid. See if I hit another, like, 1-mana spell or something. Got a Mountain. Okay. I guess I don't get I get to play the Mountain. All right, let's see. 7 damage here, 11, and then they have to block here. So it's not lethal. So if that's the case, I'm just going to run out this Heartfire hero and just spread the love. Oh, but this isn't a lethal attack then. Then what happens? They bounce this. They bounce this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Okay, we're not in danger of dying here. Now that they block with the 1/1. Maybe I was supposed to put a counter on one of the other creatures just so I don't die. All right, there you go. There you go. Bumbling, stumbling, fumbling my way up the ranks. Playing my creatures and learning how to properly sequence this deck. I will say, this deck is far harder to play than it seems. The mono-red aggro deck is way easier, right? Because you're curving out and you're not holding a bunch of combat tricks. Whereas this deck, so much is about sequencing and playing around your opponent's cards. And for somebody who doesn't play a ton of Standard, it's kind of tough. It's kind of difficult, I will say. Alrighty, round number 3. Let's play first. I shall keep this. It's got the Leyline. You must keep all hands with Leyline. I think that's the rule. Here's my question for all you Leyline aficionados. Do you run out Leyline turn? Do you run out the Scamp turn 1 if you have a backup creature? Or do you wait? mean, given that I have the Snakeskin Veil, I feel like I should just wait. So I'm gonna wait. Okay. And they can go removal spell into another card, and they're representing cut down. So I actually think this is also a good turn to just plot Slickshot Show Off and wait again, because they're representing cut down there. If they played Llanowar Elves, I would have run out the Cacophony Scamp. There's Llanowar Elves, and they 100% have cut down. All right, so the best way to counter that is, I think, with a Monstrous Rage. So let's go ahead and do that. I like Snakeskin Veil a little bit better to play around cutdowns and such. All right, no, this is good. And we still have Snakeskin Veil available if they have a removal spell, right? So Archfiend of the Dross is the play from them. So let's see what happens here. They block the Cacophony Scamp, and I can still just make it really big, right? 3, 8. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty clear attack. I just have to make sure that I have lethal. How does Slickshot Show Off work with my spells? Does it count as casting it twice? Anyways, ignoring that part, this is at least 2 spells, so that's 6 damage on the left, right? That puts them down to 13, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they take 10 damage from the Scamp, and then... well, let's see what they do. Well, they're dead if they do that. Okay, it looks like it only counts it once. All right, well, we got lethal. Okay. It's good that they didn't block the other one then. Right? And there you go. More free wins. You get a free win. You get a free win. Oh, does this get old? No, not for me. All right. Boom, take 10. All right, I will say Golgari is a worse matchup for me than Dimir because they have life gain. And their creatures tend to be a little bigger. But they still have a good deal of removal and sweepers. And they have lots of big ground creatures. So I think I'm supposed to sideboard in a similar fashion. But instead of Lithomantic Barrage, which does nothing, I like Screaming Nemesis still, just because it still trades with any of their big things. Twisted Fealty, I think, is quite good. The Recruits are nice. And then the Innkeeper's Talents will also be pretty good here. Evasion is pretty good on top of that. I think we can probably cut the turn inside outs. And maybe some number of Snakeskin Veil, but is there anything... like, do I want Burst Lightning in this matchup? It could still be okay. It still kills Llanowar Elves. And goes to their face, right? And then I like Overprotect because it's enough of a pump effect where it lets me still just... it can protect my creatures, but also lets me attack through cards like Shieldred and the Archfiend of the Dross. So Why don't we try something like this? Also, I don't know if I'm ever supposed to board out any of the creatures. Like, am I supposed to board out Cacophony Scamp? I can believe it. But I do feel like I also want a good number of ones if I'm trying to do the Innkeeper's Talent thing, too. Well, there are the Scamps. I have so many creatures, I'm just going to run them out. Like, I just kind of want them to use Cut Down here. Anyways. Sure. They're down a card too, which is very big for us. If they pass, they're representing Go for the Throat. Okay. Okay. Huh. I'm going to run out the Innkeeper's Talent, actually. And then this just makes it very tricky for them in terms of how they're supposed to play against me. Emberheart Challenger plus Innkeeper's Talent's obviously very, very strong. We just drew Heartfire Hero, which I think is great. So why don't we do that? If they kill it, I think I let this happen, to be honest. Just because I only have the one Snakeskin Veil, and I have a bunch of dorky creatures. Yep, no, this is perfect. So now I get to go Emberheart Challenger and try to get value if possible. That seems reasonable. Although it's interesting because if I hit a... It's kind of weird. If I hit a land... I want to keep up Snakeskin Veil, so I just gotta play this card, I guess. Ah, there's the land. Oh well. Do I level this up? I mean, they missed land drop, so it's like... This having ward is about as good as keeping up Snakeskin Veil. Because it's a 3/3, they can't cut it down. They need to have an untapped land plus Go for the Throat number 2 to be able to actually kill this. Or the... Yeah, okay. I mean, they mulliganed and they kept a pretty bad hand, and we managed to get there. So we're picking up these wins, and you know, I was going to play 3 matches, but I guess I'm playing a mono red deck. So I guess we can just go 4. Let's just go 1 more. It's like playing a... It's like playing a League on Magic Online. No, League is 5 matches, right? Whatever. Let's go for the 4-0. All right. Are we going to go first again? It's always the last one, right? The last one where you just... It all just falls apart. No Leyline, but hey, I have 2 1-drops with a bunch of pump spells. Depending on the type of hand that they have, this hand can certainly be good enough. I already have Monstrous Rage plus Turn Inside Out plus the Scamp. And they mold a 5? Jeez. Storm Chaser's Talent, okay. Shadowy Backstreet, alright. Karplusan Forest. Nothing needs to be done. Let's just run out some scamps. 1 damage at a time. 1 damage at a time. Nurturing Pixie, sure. I mean, here's the big thing here. The big thing is they didn't play Stormchaser's talent, right? So that obviously has to mean something for us. All right, what do I want to do? I can just cast Turn Inside Out because Monstrous Rage doesn't save it, right? I think they have that -3/-3 spell. Sure. I will let you be the first person to flinch here. This town ain't big enough. So that has prowess, and they want to bounce their Nurturing Pixie. I can overprotect my Scamp. And that's... I think their creature still gets bounced, right? So if I overprotect here, that's 7 damage... 8 damage. So let's see. I can deal 7 damage to them. And make a 2/2. I don't want to sack the Scamp on the right. But I do think I want to do that. This one... decline. This one, take action. Seven to you. All right. All right, so they're at 4 life. They need to kill the Scamp. We'll just see what they do. Right? We have the double Monstrous Rage, which can represent a lethal attack as well. And, I mean, they're getting a lot of value out of their cards off of very few cards, right? Okay, well, they're going to just die to my Monstrous Rage, I think. Well, I guess they're not going to attack me. Oh, well, that gets it done too. Slickshot Show off the top is very good. Boom. Just enough. Just enough. All right, now, so we already played against something like this before, and the question is, how do we want to sideboard? And I think it's just the same thing. Like, I think Leyline is a fantastic game one thing to do, but I think there are matchups where it's good, and there are matchups where you can probably board it out. This does feel like the type of matchup where they just have all kinds of bounce and removal and stuff, where I just don't want to lean on it too heavily. So let's just bring all of that action in and figure out which of the pump spells I want to cut out. I want to take out. I have to cut. Okay, so usually Turn Inside Out is the thing that I've been looking to. Let me know what you think about that. I like Monstrous Rage a lot. And I like Snakeskin Veil significantly less just because they have the nowhere to run. But I think 1 is still fine because you can still get them. So this is what I've been doing. It's been working so far, but I feel like we've just been drawing well, but who knows? Maybe we're a control player at heart. What if I was just quietly just like a mono red player? All right, this I can't keep. It's 5 lands. I shall keep this mediocre hand of Heartfire Heroes and Paw Patch Recruits and hope to get there. Yeah, and this is the type of hand where I can't really slow roll anything. I'm just playing all my creatures. Yep, this is what the Lithomantic Barrage is meant for. This exact situation that's happening here. Spyglass Siren. Yep. I wonder if they just pump the Scavenger and attack me. That would be pretty nice. So no land for them. The Pixie seems just like a good card in this matchup, but I'm not sure if they're gonna keep it. Okay. It's weird. Like, you have a big Scavenger, but like, do you want to attack with it? And the answer is yes. And I certainly don't want to deal with the Scavenger, so this is fine by me. All right. I don't think we're winning this one, I'm just gonna say. Oh, man. Hopeless Nightmare? Sure. Is that a card you want to keep in this matchup? I don't know about that. I mean, I guess you need a certain threshold of things to play. So I suppose it's fine. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to attack with everything or like the Nemesis and the Hero. That's also an option. But let's go with this. Oh, it looks like they have Gix's command. That would be very bad. Sunblessed Healer. With Unsheltered by Ghosts? Oh, that's gross. Okay. I mean, I guess they're out of action. I'm going to play this land too. No reason not to. If they kill my bunny, obviously it's not great. They have 2 cards left in hand though. So I'm hoping they just don't. Okay, that does get... No, there's nothing to get back out of the graveyard. They literally don't have any spells. Okay. Am I missing something here? Does this have first strike? No. What does this do? They still don't have any instants or sorceries. They're gonna scrub... Okay! And there you have it, folks! Undefeatable! Undefeatable. Now, granted, you know, I started out in the silver ranks. It's not like... we're not going up against world beaters. But you know what? You saw how I played this deck. I am by no means a world beater. But you know what? I'd like to think that this is a relatable experience, right? You have also watched the SCGCon Spotlight Series this weekend. You also saw a player much better at me at the deck than I win the trophy, right? So that means you can also pick up wins because you pick up this deck, you build this deck, take it to your local F&M, you play some creatures, you cast some pump spells, you draw Leyline, and you kill them dead, right? And here's what I learned at least. You know, whatever tips I can get you, at least from playing for, an hour. There are certain hands where you can afford to not play a creature, right? In the instances where you have a Leyline in play, with only one creature and protection spells, you wait. You just don't play the creature turn 1. I know as an aggro player, like if you pick up this deck, you're probably an aggro player. As an aggro player, you typically want to go 1-drop, 2-drop, curve out. That's not the deck for you. What you want to do is protect that creature at all costs with your protection spells, right? Now, in the instance where you have too many creatures and you just want to basically use your creature, like you can basically if let's say you have triple Cacophony Scamp in your hand, you can then use your creatures as duress effects, right? Because your creatures are expendable because you have so many. You only need the one creature to survive. So in the instance where you have a bunch of creatures, yeah, then you can run out the creature on turn 1. Now, there have been instances where I've seen players have multiple creatures in hand and still not play the creature on turn 1. That's next level. And I would need to talk to that player to understand how that works. JED, for example, always plays completely different than I do, with far better success than I ever will in my entire life. And so he's another level beyond what I'm capable of. And so sometimes, even in coverage, I see him do stuff and I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not going to question what he did, because I'm assuming what he did was correct, but that's not something that I would have done. So to get to that next level is going to take a little more practice, but I'm just trying to give you the kind of the bare bones of it all with how this deck works. But I will say, you know, this deck played out super, super smoothly. Game 1, just getting free wins with your Scamp Heartfire. This is basically a Scamp Heartfire hero combo deck that every now and then can win with chip damage from challengers and show-offs and stuff. And of course, you have the Leyline of Resonance. But then after sideboard, you just kind of turn into a Gruul beatdown deck, right? You just have all the same cards. 4 Questing Druids, Paw Patch Recruits, and Innkeeper's Talents. And you can just play that game and just grind people out. So I like the fact that you can just sideboard into a regular Gruul deck, but still keep the extremely broken possibilities of a turn 2 or turn 3 kill with the Leyline of Resonance. So Leyline of Resonance is back with a vengeance. The person who won this tournament went 16-2 throughout the Swiss. So it's nice that the metagame is shaken up once again with people having to make sure that they prepare and are ready for another Gruul Aggro variant. And there you have it, folks. My first standard video in many, many months. Due to the downtime, I hope you all enjoyed it here. I actually had a decent amount of fun playing this deck. And, you know, maybe there will be some more standard decks in the future, but I hope you all enjoyed it. If you have some suggestions on what to do with constructed content in general, just because I haven't made it, feel free to post that in the comments below. If you have any suggestions with regards to how I should have sideboarded here, feel free to post as well in the comment section below. But, you know, this was a blast to play. And, you know, with Limited kind of getting a little bit stale. Foundations has been out a couple of months. Pioneer Masters has been out a month. And there's nothing else in the horizon for another month. I am open to any and all ideas with regards to what to do with my content for the next couple of weeks. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, as I truly do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more daily videos just like this. If you've enjoyed this content and wanted to support this channel in another way, my Patreon is the best way to do so. That's patreon.com/paulcheon. I think it's a really great way to up your Limited game. We even do have a tab. We have a channel for Constructed that if this picks up, maybe it'll get a little busier. Additionally, check out tcgplayer.com for all your TCG singles and sealed product needs. Whether you need to pick up some booster boxes or some singles, make sure you check out tcgplayer.com and click that affiliate link in the description below before making any purchases. Last but not least, check out heavyplay.com for premium Magic the Gathering supplies and accessories. If you're on top of the line, deck boxes, playmats, sleeves, dice boxes, and more, go to heavyplay.com/paulcheon for 10% off your first order. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.